We are live. Greetings and welcome back once again. This is Amuna. It's been a while, Facebook. I'm gonna go live here. I have not gone live here in quite some time. Greetings and welcome back once again. This is Amuna. I said, let me go live on my Facebook fam and I'll just reload it on YouTube later on. Let me share it. I haven't gone live here in a while, but I'm just gonna go ahead. And although the controls have changed, so I don't know what's going on with that. But we're going to have a little open discussion today. Are you in the mood? I'm in the mood. I finished early today. Yummy cottage, you don't know. So I said, let's have an open discussion because I saw this being shared. It's a parable. I like parables. Do you like parables? What's going on, everybody? Long time. So I like parables. I like wisdom saying. And I also like critical thinking. So when I saw this, it took me a minute to kind of I don't know if you've seen The Donkey and the Tiger. This is what we're going to look at today, The Donkey and the Tiger. And we're going to break it down a little bit because some of us is like, yeah, power to the people, the donkey and the tiger, don't talk to idiots, right? And we're going to see if it has any validity or if it needs to be re-examined. So I'm going to read it straight as it is, and then I'm going to come back and break it down a little bit, okay? So the donkey told the tiger, the grass is blue. The tiger replied, no, the grass is green. Let me take my glasses off because, hold on, let me do like the discussion became heated and the two decided to submit the issue to arbitration. So they approached the lion. As they approached the lion on his throne, the donkey started screaming, Your Highness, isn't it true that the grass is blue? The lion replied, if you believe it's true, the grass is blue. The donkey rushed forward and continued, the tiger disagrees with me and contradicts me and annoys me. Please punish him. The king then declared the tiger will be punished 3 days of silence. Okay, so I got so much to say, but I'm going to continue. The donkey jumped up with joy and went on his way, content and repeating, the grass is blue, the grass is blue. The tiger asked the lion, Your Majesty, why have you punished me? After all, the grass is green. The lion replied, You've known and seen the grass is green. The tiger asked, So why did you punish me? The lion replied, That has nothing to do with the question or whether the grass is blue or green. The punishment is because it is degrading for a brave, intelligent creature like you to waste time arguing with an ass. And on top of that, you came and bothered me with that question just to validate something you already know was true. Then they get to the moral of the story, right? The biggest waste of time is arguing with the fool and fanatic who doesn't care about truth or reality, but only the victory of his beliefs and illusions. Never waste time on discussions that make no sense. There are people who, for all the evidence presented to them, do not have the ability to understand. Others who are blinded by ego, hatred, and resentment, and the only thing that they want is to be right, even if they aren't. When ignorance screams, intelligence moves on. And people's like, yes, power to the people. Share, can I share? Can I like? Can I share? And on surface, if we identify with the tiger, yeah, then we're like, yo, we right. Because this conversation is about communication. It's a little soul anonymous. I haven't been over here in a while. How are you guys doing? Let me put back on my glasses now. It's a little soul anonymous, right? So when I read it, at first it's like, okay, if you identify with the tiger, you're going to be like, yo, this is good. This is good beans. So, but let's go back to the beginning. Hopefully we can have some takeaway from this conversation. The donkey told the tiger, the grass is blue. The tiger replied, no, the grass is green. So you know what Amuna does. I looked up something, and I know that this is personification, right? But it's also something that we can take away. The donkey and the tiger are not the same species. They're not the same. One is of the horse family, and the tiger is of the feline or the cat family. When we're talking about color, I know some people be like, Amuna, you be going too deep. But wait. When we're talking about color, all animals do not see color in the same way. So right now they're talking about observing something that is natural, which is grass. Okay? It's something that all of the species that have eyes can see, but not all see in the same way. In the same way your dog may have color blindness, a horse may see different colors, and a donkey may see different colors. So I said, let me look it up, because I don't want to be out here lying to the people. I said, let me look it up just to humor myself. And if you've been wondering where I've been doing a lot of studying. So for right now, this is relaxation for me. So let's look up tigers. No, first I looked up donkeys. So let's look at, but since I'm on tigers have more rods responsible for visual acuity for shapes in their eyes than cones responsible for color vision. To assist with their night vision. Remember, tigers can see in the night. That means the function of their eyes are different. The way they see and relate to the world is different. So it is with people. We may be coming from different perspective, and our lens, our eyes, based on what's inside and based on our function, we may see different things. So somebody may be seeing the world as the donkey. Not saying that there isn't right and wrong, but others may be seeing as the tiger. When you drop down here and it talks about what colors the tiger could see, it says there are 3 definite colors of tigers. Wait, no, not that one. Hold on. There is some debate about how much color tigers can actually see. Until recent times, it was considered that fields were colorblind, but it is now established that green, blue, and yellow may be recognized along with various shades of gray. So people are doing some study on the tiger, realizing that the tiger can see colors of green, blue, yellow. I know it's personification. I know that it is a fable, but we can pull something from this because it's talking about human interaction. But if you go to the donkey, okay, can donkey see color? You just type in something like this. Donkeys, like horses, view any threat with binocular vision. It is thought that they have the same color vision as the horse, right? So when you go to the color vision that the donkeys have, they have a problem seeing blue and green. Not blue and green, red and green. Let me see if I can go there. Hold on. Why is that important? Because the argument is that the grass is blue. No, the grass is green. Now, if somebody has color blindness issue, if somebody's not able to see, like them little colorblind things we see come up on our screen on social media, what color do you see? Some people see pink, some people see green. The reality is how we see outside does not necessarily always match with the other person. But because we assume that the other person is seeing exactly what we're seeing, then now we're going to go to the level that the donkey and the tiger went to in this particular story. If you can relate this to how we relate to one another, then we're going somewhere here. Just like horses, sorry, let me get a little sip. Donkeys are as well able to differentiate between major colors, red, green, and blue. Hold on. In another space, it talks about donkeys having an issue with the red and the green. Why do I say all that? Again, I've made my point that we're talking about 2 different animals, 2 different function of their eyes, and different ways in which they perceive their reality. Okay? And to be even a little bit more specific, I said, don't they have bluegrass? Grass, Kentucky bluegrass, grass that appears, we're going over the parable, grass that appears green, but when the buds or the flowers come up, they blue, and so they call it bluegrass. Yes, right? So somebody may be looking at the grass, and somebody may be looking at the buds that's in the grass and say it's blue and say it's green. So this argument requires an intercessor. Sometimes we having discussions with one another and we're not getting anywhere. You're not seeing my point, I'm not seeing your point, and someone has a bright idea. Whoever thinks they're Malaya, you're gonna have to come off the table because you keep Malaya, sit down at the thing because you keep shaking the table. Thank you. So the donkey told the tiger the grass is blue. The tiger replied, no, the grass is green. The discussion became heated, so we're not getting anywhere. Tempers are flaring. People are upset. They're going back and forth, and we're not getting anywhere. And everybody thinks they're right. This can go towards whatever it is, a doctrine, a scripture, whatever it is that the person may be inclined to and they don't want to let go of, or they don't want to humble themselves and move from their position to go to your position to possibly see what it is that you're saying. It's like looking at the color spectrum. If you're in one way, it may look another way, and if you're in another direction, it may look another way, right? it became heated, and the two decided to submit the issue to arbitration. So they approached the lion. Now, somehow, some way, the lion is the authority, right? We don't know who the lion is in this story. It could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be the wise one in your community. You're going to somebody who's not emotionally invested into whether it's green or blue into the conversation, and you're going to them for advice, going to them to see whether or not what you're saying is right, who is right, because when the ego is involved, we want to be right. But the donkey is the one who's approaching now. As they approached the lion on his throne, so that he's the king of the jungle now, the donkey started screaming, "Your Highness, isn't it true that grass is blue?" So he's not saying that I see the grass is blue. He's saying absolutely now overall grass is green. They have special circumstances where the grass may be blue, or you may have a special circumstances where you're not able to see that the grass is green, right? But he wants to now take this special circumstance, the donkey, and wants to put it across the board and say, for everybody, the grass is blue, okay? So he runs up first. He's the first in his case. The tiger asked the lion, "Your Majesty, why..." Rewind. The king... No, rewind. Where am I? The lion replied, "If you believe it is true, the grass is blue." So the lion is doing some old Monkey from the Lion King type vibration. Like, whatever you believe, it shall be. Right? He's telling him if you believe it's blue. So he gives him this off the wall type of answer. Right? Okay? Which is questionable in this whole story. The donkey rushed forward and continued, "The tiger disagrees with me, contradicts me, and annoys me. Please punish me." So we can see that the donkey in this case is closed-minded. Okay? Well, somebody's telling you a simple truth, and you're not necessarily able to communicate your perspective. From where I'm standing, the grass looks blue, or this is how it appears to me. They're not having a discussion. That discussion wasn't able to fully open up and bloom for it to get to arbitration. But because the two people were staunch in their position, it didn't allow for further investigation. And now at this point, the donkey just wants to be proved correct. The donkey rushed forward, and the tiger disagrees with me and contradicts me and annoys me. So he's taking it personal. Sometimes when people disagree with us, they're not able to see what we're telling them. We're not able to communicate effectively. Essentially, this is what this conversation is about. We're not able to communicate effectively, and because we have not grown up in our communication style, we have not grown up as an adult in that space, right? You would expect this type of behavior from children, and because we lack those skills, mommy, I get mommy all day, mommy, and it's something simple that can be solved, but those tools are not necessarily there or understood how to be used at this point, right? So the donkey jumped up with joy. No, wait. He wants him to be punished now. The donkey wants the tiger to be punished. The king then declared, "The tiger will be punished with 3 days of silence." So the king, who would be the parent, who would be the intercessor, who would be the mediator, instead of setting the conversation aright, instead of opening up an opportunity for both sides to see where they're coming from or to make the corrective measures, the king brushes the donkey off and says, "Whatever you think it is, that is what it shall be." So as a mediator in this case, the question is, did the king really do his job? Did the lion really do his job? And now that he hasn't done his job, he goes on to say, "The tiger will be punished with 3 days of silence." So the tiger, after only just saying, "You know what, it's green," he didn't really say much after that. The donkey's doing most of the talking. And when they go to this mediator, they're not getting any resolve. And in the way the story looks, the wrong person is being punished, right? The person who's saying the right thing is being punished, while the person who's doing or saying the wrong thing is allowed to continue to go on. You see a lot of that happening right now, right? Hold on, where are we? The tiger asked the lion, "Your Majesty, why have you punished me? After all, the grass is green." So he's like, wait a minute. Why have you punished me? After all, it's clear to see It's clear to see that there's side effects. It's clear to see that something else is going on here. It's clear to see, why are you silencing the person? Why are you censoring that person? Why are you telling that person to be quiet when clearly the person or the donkey or the who's trying to convince you of something that may be but not may be across the board, that person is being allowed to speak, and the truth teller is the person who should be quiet. I mean, apply it wherever you want to, liberally. Okay. The donkey, wait. He said, why? So tiger now is like, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? The lion replied, you've known and seen the grass is green. The tiger asked, so why do you punish me? The lion replied, that has nothing to do with the question of whether the grass is blue or green. So you go to this arbitrator. You go to this intermediate person and they're not even dealing with or addressing the question that's on the table, right? They're not dealing with the issue on the table because they may not be interested. They may want to get off from work that day. You think you're going to get justice in this case. In the case, the lion is supposed to be the judge. They're calling him your majesty, right? He's supposed to be majestic, and he's not even addressing the real concerns of the people. The punishment is because it is degrading for a brave, intelligent creature like you to waste time arguing with a donkey. And on top of that, so let's pause. So now he starts pumping him up. He moves the goalposts. You're supposed to judge the current matter that's on the table. You misinform the two people or parties that come before you, and now you insert your own. You insert your own thoughts. Right? And people are like, yes, the donkey and the tiger. And I'm like, wait a minute. If we go by this logic, that's what makes what's not making sense make sense, right? What we should be talking about is, no, the better question is, people do that often. When I used to host, it used to annoy me. Like, there's a question on the table and you don't want to address the question on the table, and then you want to be like, the better question is. How about you address the question first and then we get to the better question? But okay. So then he starts pumping up the tiger, right? I know you're right. It's okay. Just let it go. You know you're right. Just silence the truth. Just be quiet. Just let it go because you're so intelligent and you're so beyond and you're so da-da-da-da-da that you shouldn't even lower yourself to this esteem. That's a double-edged sword in my estimation. So he says the punishment, silencing the truth, okay? Silencing the truth, censoring the truth. The punishment is because it is degrading for a brave, intelligent creature like you to waste time arguing with a donkey. There's two proverbs that tells you, one, do not argue with a fool, but on the other side, it tells you if you sit in silence and you're complicit, right, then it makes you the fool to think that they are wise. So there's a balance to this conversation. It's not really black or white. It really depends, right? And on top of that, you came and bothered me with a question just to validate something you already knew was true. What kind of judge is the lion? Are you guys there? Can you still hear me? This is Amuna. Welcome back. It's been a while. I'm just chopping up a little bit. You know what I mean? What kind of judge is the lion? How is the lion a righteous judge in this parable? Okay? How is he? He's being bothered. You're troubling me. And even though you're right, I'm going to silence the truth and allow the lie to continue to circulate, or the perception or the misconception to continue to circulate as truth while you silence the truth. Are we experiencing any of this right now? The truth is silenced, and the misconception, the misinformation is allowed to be spread throughout. The propaganda is allowed to be propagated, while those who speak truth shall sit in silence because it's degrading to respond. Sometimes some of this stuff is passed off to us as facts, and then we reference it, yeah, like the lion and the tiger, and it doesn't always apply. I'm just saying, it doesn't always apply. He says, on top of that, you bothered me. So the line is beyond even dealing with situations or judging matters in a right and exact way. The biggest waste of time, now they get to the moral of the story. The biggest waste of time is arguing with the fool and fanatic who doesn't care about truth or reality, but only the victory of his beliefs and illusions. First of all, one said it was blue, the other one said it was green. To argue, they would have to present their facts. No one presented their facts in this conversation. Sometimes we're quick to saying that something is an argument and it's a discussion. So two people are making assertions. In this particular narrative, there was no supporting evidence for the information that they're presented. One just said it was blue, the other one that said it was green. Oh, we can't agree. Let's go run to the judge. And then you go to this crazy judge who's over there talking about he over there watching reality TV. He on TikTok and he don't have time. He misinforms the person who may be misinformed and allow them to run off into society and propagate the fallacy, and then silences the truth teller. What's going on, Nazira? Let me know your thoughts, man. I know I'm gonna done ripped up the donkey and the thing, but I was reading and I was like, well, wait a minute now. This can be seen from another way. So they're not necessarily arguing. If you go to court and you go to court, right? Like when somebody in the subconscious community right now is in court. Somebody jumps up and says, guilty. The other person says, not guilty. And then the judge in the court says, yeah, y'all bothering me right now. I got a lot of things on my docket. If you say that thou is not guilty, then thou shalt be not guilty. Silence to the truth teller. You'll be like, what? What type of miscarriage of justice is going on here? Anyway. So he pumps up the tiger and says, well, we already went past how he pumped up the tiger. And then says, never waste time on discussions that make no sense. How do you know the discussion makes no sense? If you did not have the patience to explore the discussion. That means that both parties, both the tiger and the lion, have an exalted self of sense. This is why the lion says to the tiger, for a brave, intelligent creature like you. This is somebody who's puffed up, who has ego, who feels like they are so much far and beyond speaking to and exchanging with someone who they feel is beneath them. So one chooses to gaslight the guy and say, whatever you think it is, that's what it is. And then behind, ha ha ha, chuckle, we'll just keep the truth and knowledge to ourselves. Right? Then it goes on to say, there are people who, for all the evidence, bruh, you didn't present no evidence. One said it was green, the other said it was blue. There was no evidence put on the table. We be having discussions and people swear blind. They may be having the court in their mind that they presented evidence. They didn't present any evidence. And then because they don't have the patience to deal with adult type conversations, to deal with things that make us feel uncomfortable, they blow up. We sometimes blow up. We get attitude and it's like, okay, I'm done here. And in our mind, we presented what we didn't present. So in this story, there was no evidence presented. But he says there are people who, for all evidence presented to them, do not have the ability to understand. Others who are blinded by ego, who hatred and resentment, and the only thing that they want to be is to be right, even if they aren't. Now, there are many of us in the world who want to be right if they're not. But this conclusion, this moral of the story, did not match the story. There was no evidence presented. There was ego on both sides. The ignorance of the person who thought, the donkey who thought it was blue, or not able to articulate his perspective. The lion and the tiger, more so the lion who was also full of ego. The tiger did a poor job at presenting his case. And when the miscarriage of justice, when the judgment came down, he petitioned to the lion, who then pumped up the tiger's ego to tell him, you above that. But y'all really didn't have a discussion. And this is how things go unresolved, because people tell themselves, or they go to other people, oh, you don't have to answer that. You're beyond that, and da 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 da, and thinking you're right, and all the wrong, you're wrong, or you were wrong in the way in which you handled it, right? And lastly, it goes to say, um, when ignorance screams, intelligence move on. Whose perspective do you think this conversation was really coming from? When ignorance screams, intelligence moves on. Now, there's oftentimes that ignorance is very loud. And if you're wise, not just intelligence, wisdom. If you're wise, you allow for that time to subside, that time to pass. But if you who are wise, who has the truth, do not present it and does not share it in an appropriate way, that even if at that time the person is not able to hear it, eventually they can never say, you know what, Most High, I didn't know the truth. No, that's why the Most High had the prophets and the seers, because they went and said, even if they hear or they forbear, you have to share this truth. You have to say what you need to say. You have to present this information even though they may not hear, so that it is just and right that when judgment comes to the fool, or when judgment comes to the ignorant, they cannot plead, I didn't know. But in this particular story that I see being shared all around as if it is 100% truth, the reality is, based on the way the story was meted out, no, there were a lot of things that we could have corrected, or the author could have corrected, or in our own lives we could have looked at and said, nah, did I try my best to convey my thought? Sometimes we are not the best communicators. Or sometimes our emotional intelligence, when we're speaking to people who may have inroads to our feelings, we're not able to articulate in the best way. Some people may be better to express their emotions written. And when they're face to face with the person, they may feel a kind of way, or they may get nervous, or their words will get jumbled because there are all these other things that are involved in making them feel uncomfortable, right? So some people don't feel comfortable, especially if they come from a place where their thoughts and feelings are often discounted. There's other people who's like, yo, I'm right, I'm gonna say I'm right, and I'm gonna yell it at the top of my lungs, I'm right. Like all day long, you know, have to deal with situations where all the children have different communication styles, right, children? She said they have different communication styles. They speak differently when they're upset versus when they're calm versus when they think somebody did an injustice. There's all these different ways in which I see just in my everyday life disputes that will be over the smallest thing. And for real, sometimes you feel like a lion, like, yo, bruh, why are we having this conversation? But to them, it is of utmost importance. So for the lion, not the lion, for the tiger and the donkey to be having this conversation, there had to be a level of a rapport. Tiger and donkey. People of different walks of life, people of different nationalities, people of different genders. There had to be some type of rapport for them to just be having a casual conversation about the color of grass, right? So the person says, I like tofu, and the other person says, you know, I don't eat tofu. Okay. Or tofu is good, or tofu is not good, or beans are good, or drinking milk is good. And I saw this conversation on YouTube, because that's where I've been, in the YouTube streets. Let me tell you guys, the YouTube streets are very different than the Facebook streets. Oh my goodness. I've been in the YouTube streets, y'all. So I'm over in the YouTube streets, right? And I see this conversation between the donkey and the tiger. And the conversation is kombucha good for you? That was one of the conversations. And one person is asking, and once the other person begins to present their perspective, the other person goes off the rails. Because sometimes we ask questions and we're not necessarily prepared for the answer. And sometimes the answer that the person gives convicts us. Because it's like me saying, is sparkly water good for you, right? And the person goes and says, no, sparkly water isn't good for you, while I'm sipping sparkly water. Now, I may feel personally convicted that you're now telling me by extension, because it's not good for you, then I am doing something that's not good. And then you have this emotional reaction, right? And this is how we see communication oftentimes degenerate. And you're like, well, what happened? Where did the thing go off the track? Where did the conversation get derailed? There's all kind of internal dialogue that's happening at the moment the person is speaking. And the way in which you're giving the words, the way in which you're receiving and encoding and processing the words, the speaker does not have a handle over that. Once the words leave my mouth, whatever your filter is, however you process your reality, that's how the words are going to process. Right? And it's going to evoke some type of feeling or some type of thought or whatever it is. Right? This is why you can have a whole room of people and you can be talking to this whole room of people and each person leaves away with a different thing of which you said at all times. So it's most for the speakers to try to be as clear and concise. Sometimes I stop. Sometimes I say because I'm processing what I'm saying before I'm spitting it out, right? And in hopes that if you have questions or comments or whatever it is, the feedback, I always ask for feedback, that you can give back to me what you thought or what you misunderstood or whatever the case may be, so that you can have an opportunity for clarity. But when you're in a highly emotional charged environment, which in this case between the donkey and the tiger, I don't know why it became so emotionally charged, but it was, right? You may be in a situation with the classmate or the mate or the brother or the sister or whomever, and because there's an undercurrent for a conversation that you had a day ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, right? It's not just, is the grass green or blue? It's, you disagreed with me here, here, and here. You know what I mean? I'm upset with you in this place and that place. So now this pretext as of whether the grass is green or blue, or whether it's good to drink kombucha or not, that's a pretext for all the other things that I'm already in my feelings with you about, right? And so this is how, like, you'll be like, well, that was a small disagreement. How did we get here? You understand what I'm saying? And how oftentimes how we got here is because there was already other things that were seeded in the heart and mind of that person. In this case, it seems that the tiger was less offended already. The tiger was less invested in the argument. It was the donkey in this case who runs to the lion first, who is adamant that he's right about whatever else it may be. Right? But it really just depends on the thoughts and the personality of the people. Let me know your thoughts. That was my thoughts on the parable of the donkey and the tiger, and just how if we take things all the way at face value, we may misapply how we interface. The right person may think it's okay to just not say anything. Wait a minute. It was the donkey. Wait. Stop it, donkey and thing. Runs to the lion first. Who it's not being quiet. That he's right about whatever else it may be. Wait. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, peoples. It's been a while. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me know your thoughts on that conversation. We're seeing a lot of that today, right now. It's like the truth teller is being silenced, and it's like, why are you being silenced? So that you don't argue with the ignorant. It's like, no, there's sometimes when you do need to open your mouth. There's sometimes when you should not allow yourself to be silenced, because it can cause what did I share? It can cost people their lives. It can cost people their livelihoods. You know what I mean? It can cost humanity greatly. I'll just say that. So especially in this space and time, there's a time to speak, but weird. There's a time to speak and there's a time to be quiet. And I would say that in this space and time, there are things that we need to speak up about and out about, and not just take the position of the tiger saying, why did you deactivate? Why did you try to silence me? It's sometimes it's more nefarious than trying to convince you that the grass is blue. Sometimes there are other things that are in this conversation that the objective of the donkey is to keep you quiet. So if the donkey gets louder and the donkey runs to the judge first and the donkey pays off the people and the donkey, you understand what I'm saying? The donkey is the one that's convincing and painting the narrative and doing all of these things. Now the tiger gets ostracized. Because remember, the tiger and the donkey has two different visions. How come it's not updating on this side? Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. It's not updating, or I'm not, the muzzling of the truth teller. The muzzling of the truth teller. And that's, to me, the more dangerous side of this here parable. Because the judge is biased. The judge in this story, the lion, let's go back a little, and then I'm going to wrap up. The lion says, it's like saying, I know you're right. We know you're right. But just let them have this. Let them just believe what they want to believe. Just let it go. You just don't want to, because you're above this. You're more intelligent than they are. In this space and time, we have people telling people who went to school to become doctors, to become naturopaths, to become holistics. We have people who are not people who went to school to study these things and understand certain things. In this space and time, we have people telling those people that they don't know what they're talking about, and we should listen to people who did not do what these people did. I know I'm talking in riddles, but you can understand what I'm saying. We have people silencing truth tellers who are more knowledgeable than the people who are silencing the truth tellers. With biased lions. I guess we're going to have to start talking in the donkey and the tiger parable phrases, right? So let's go a little bit back again to reiterate. So they run to who? We don't even know who made the Lion King. So they run, and this is what the lion says. He gaslights the donkey. You've known and seen. No, he gaslights the donkey. If you say it's blue, then it's blue. If you say it's true, then it's true, right? So he stop hitting the table, my dear. He gaslights him, and then he goes on to secretly have counsel with the tiger, that it has nothing to do with the question of whether the grass is blue or green. That's moving the goalposts. The question was whether the grass is blue or green. He throws in a red herring. He throws the donkey off the case. He lets the fool continue to think that he's right. And then he has private counsel with the tiger, who's like, yo, bro, what's up? Can I see you real quick, Judge? I got a question. He says, the punishment is because it is degrading. So he appeals to the ego. Okay? For a brave, intelligent creature like you to waste time arguing with a donkey. And on top of that, you came and bothered me with a question just to validate something you already know was true. So he wasn't doing his job. And so that's my thoughts. Let me know yours. It's been a while. I missed you guys, but I'm over on the tube. Check me out if you need to. I'm going to share this one over there as well. Yeah, and this is pretty much a lot of what we see happening today. And it's just something to consider as we go forward with our day. So with that said, thank everybody for tuning in. I pray you're doing well. My nose was itching. We'll talk again. All right. Let me look around here. Haven't gone live over this side in a minute. They have all kind of things over here. Give me a minute, guys, before I go up. I've been streaming with StreamYard. Gaming. What's this? I've been streaming with StreamYard, so I haven't been over here in a while. Options. Don't mind me. If you missed it, thank you for joining us. You go back and check it out from the top. Share it, like it, share your thoughts. Was I going too deep? Was I doing too much? Create a new clip. Clips from your live video. I'm just clicking around while I'm on live, see what kind of new stuff they got here. You know, they're always updating things. What too low frame? Hopefully it wasn't staticky. Add a question. Okay. All right. You miss me, Uzziah? I miss you too, brother. I had to go over to YouTube and share them some love, man. And just so much going on. This math class got me. This math class got me in my feelings. I gotta go do my math homework right now. The math class got me in my feelings right now. It's like math is something like I have to be laser focused. You know what I mean? And given that I haven't seen this stuff in a minute, I have been ultra focused on these I'm gonna say it again. My children like, say it again. Polynomials. They got me over here factoring polynomials, y'all. They got my little brain just like, ah. But I'm almost done. So the most I'll be done with it soon, and we back in the saddle. But go ahead and catch it on the replay. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Everybody have a blessed day.